Now, it's been described as a kill zone. Since April, the Sudanese city of Fasher has been under a more brutal siege as the paramilitary rapid support forces push to seize control. The RSF has cut off access to food for hundreds of thousands of civilians who are trapped and living in desperate conditions, enduring relentless shelling and mass starvation. The RSF now controls nearly all of Darfur. Fasher is the last major city in the region still under the rival Sudanese army's control. The Sudanese armed forces remain in control of the capital Khartoum and the east of Sudan. And just to warn you, this report from our international editor Lindsay Hilsum does contain distressing footage.
They're digging people out of the mud with their bare hands. The rain came down in torrents and the earth slipped. For many in the village of Tarsin, the ground beneath their feet had already shifted. Some were forced to flee the siege of Fasher, the capital of North Darfur. They've been made homeless twice over now. Today, people prayed over the place where 370 bodies were recovered. But it's the living who desperately need aid. This is the situation they fled. Inside Fasher, families gather together for safety and in the hope of getting food. But they're often reduced to eating what they once would have fed to their animals.
Life is so difficult. Sometimes we find a portion of animal feed, and other times we can't even find that. We're just staying, but the situation is very, very hard.
They're meant to be under the protection of the Sudan armed forces which control the town. But the paramilitary rapid support forces are closing in, refusing to allow civilians in or out.
We're living under the most tragic conditions. There's nothing to eat. People are relying on bits of charity, but that's not enough. They're now facing famine-like conditions. There's almost nothing in the markets. Volunteers are trying to help in any way they can, despite the risks. The rapid support forces intimidate, capture and kill them without any reason. They threaten their families, so we're seeing even less help.
Satellite photos show that in recent weeks the RSF have built earthen walls to try to stop people from leaving the city. If the fighters capture anyone trying to bring food into Fasher for their families, they film what happens next. The militiaman calls the boys they've captured slaves. He means that he's an Arab, but they are from a non-Arab tribe. He forces them to give their names. The food they were carrying was so little, so humble. Rice, pasta, a dirty cloth full of flour. He threatens to kill them. In other videos, and we won't show what happens, they do execute people they capture. This man, called Ahmed Gandul, runs a restaurant in Fasher. Again, he's from a non-Arab tribe. The RSF are ill-disciplined, out of control, cruel. But they have the backing of regional countries, including the UAE, which denies involvement. Last week, the RSF leader, known as Hemeti, staged his own swearing-in ceremony as leader of a parallel Sudanese government, claiming he wanted secular, diverse and democratic rule. An RSF vehicle blown up by a Sudan Armed Forces drone. The conflict is growing more intense in Kordofan, the region to the east of Darfur. In the past, the US would have brokered peace talks. Not now.
It is time to launch a serious, sincere and inclusive dialogue between all parties in order to end conflict and restore hope, dignity and peace to the people of Sudan.
Local militia choose to fight on one side or the other as the war spreads. These with the army, others with the RSF. But the people of Sudan? No one, it seems, is coming to their rescue.